Dan.
Gaffer.
Thanks for joining us. The biggest topic of why we've got Dan on, which is going to, I think a lot of people are going to love this. They're going to be surprised by it as well.
We were surprised.
We were surprised.
Get them near the bottom, near my hook bait, and the hook bait's going to do the work. That turned it on its head.
That's an
a
incredible
joke,
card.
mate. It's a joke of
That's
a
the
fish,
king
that.
anywhere, isn't it?
I'm on the list for
Cables.
Cables, yeah.
Yeah. Have you paid your 40 quid?
No, did I need to?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe you're not on the list then.
Do you know what I will just say, Spoons? The running. Bloody hats off. He has done very, very well.
Get a FaceTime. That's weird for Clark. He just gives me a voice note. Well, that ain't Clark. That's Mo Farah. Just have a little chat with him.
Sorted him a count out, have you?
Yeah, he's getting all the kit now. He's
I bet he has a 50 before you.
Yeah.
It's me doing a bit of a Terry Hearn-esque reflection.
Bargie's on the old camp. Why is he chewing them tiger nuts up? He's never done that before.
They're banned on it.
What is going on?
That might be £60 by the time
Have you
I
put your 40
go
quid
on.
down?
I've actually put 12 million down for my ticket. What do they call it when you get your blue tick? Verify. What a palaver.
When's it started, Dan?
The Thinking Tackle Podcast.
How big do you have geezers at?
I didn't catch keys.
Oh, yeah.
I died while I was in there.
Did you say that for Spoon? No, he knew as well, didn't he?
Only because I caught it.
Oh,
He
right.
called it like fourth trip fluked
Yeah.
on a pop-up.
Yeah, saw him
Excellent.
showing, put a pop-up on it.
Yeah.
Right, let's get going.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to the Thinking Tackle Uncut Podcast. Now, if you're watching, you'll see we are missing Damo, so we've roped in a guest. The cleaner was busy, so we had a little hunt around the building, and we've managed to drag the boss in because he's got something very, very interesting to talk about, which we'll get onto later. But first of all, we are going to start on Spooner's 50 because we've got a few that we've missed over the last few weeks, and obviously people haven't been catching quite as many because it's been cold, but we've got a few this week, I'm pleased to say. So
Certainly weren't one of mine that was
no,
missing.
no, it wasn't. So the 50s continue, and here we go. Right, I'm going to read them out to you. So top left, we've got Marcus Leake with a fish from the Coomley complex, which is obviously popular this time of year.
Is
in
it
the
Isle of
winter.
Wight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a 54-pound, 12-ounce common.
Yeah,
so an absolute
Pecky's done
monster.
a couple of trips, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Top right, Dovey, I know this one well. It's definitely on the hit list, I'm sure. It's Raisbury North's. Is it Raisbury North's Biggin?
No.
No?
That's actually one that I didn't know was a 50-pounder. That come
Okay.
through, I think it was like mid-40 last year. I might be wrong.
Okay.
Mid-40 last year, and there's come through and been caught at 53 and then
Yeah.
54.
Probably
Yeah.
is the big one, isn't it?
I thought
No,
it was.
no,
No,
it's
no.
not. I
No,
know
it's
it's not
Okay.
the Sutton. But how big's the Sutton?
Probably about the same size, but there's the one I caught last year is probably 55, 56.
Oh, is it?
I think I
Right.
caught 56, yeah.
Okay, well that's
Cool.
£53
In fact, Carl called it
14
again.
there. And then bottom left that's from Coomley again. Rob Mayer with a £52 1-ounce common.
What?
Yeah, and then
Wow.
bottom right, that's probably why Damo's not here, the bottom right.
Yeah.
Because he can't catch it. And that's obviously Carthagina's bullnose, which is an incredible carp. at
That looks like summer to
£53.
me, though, Gal.
Well, it was late summer. It got missed in it, this one, somehow. I don't know
Right.
how, but we missed this one off, and Damo was adamant we need to chuck it in and make
Okay.
sure he gets a good share of the chances of
So
winning.
what we're doing, same as usual, we're all going to vote on one.
I think we'll all vote on one, yeah. What are you saying, Dan? We'll let you have the first vote.
Top right.
Okay, top right.
I'm going to go top right as well because it's my home ground. But
Grey, innit? Grey.
yeah,
Grey
I think
old
probably
beastie.
bullnose is probably
Yeah,
a
so-
better fish, but it's caught in summer, so I can't
Yeah.
give it to him.
Everyone in the
I'll-
building's had it, haven't they?
Yeah.
Bullnose,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I'm
haven't they?
gonna pick Bully because it's not. I'm gonna give it to Bully, my vote, because
Yeah.
it's not his fault. He sent it
It's
in when he
Reedy's-
caught it.
it's Reedy's
It's
fault.
Reedy's
It's
fault.
Reedy's fault, yeah.
Yeah,
So
and-
I'm gonna vote for Bullnose.
Yeah, and
Right.
not just
Have you
for
caught
that
that one?
reason.
No,
Oh.
Try.
of course that was
No.
£50.
yeah. I'd love it if you went, yes, spawned out of 48. Well, I would say Bully as well, which is going to put us at 2-2. So
give
should
one
we
to each.
Shall we give it to one to each?
Yeah, it'd be
all
friendly,
right, we'll
innit?
give one. All right, we've
All
done that a
right.
couple of
Are
times.
we
haven't
friendly at the start of the
Are we
year?
Very
Friendly.
friendly. Okay,
All right,
well, well
there you
done
go.
then. You're both going to get one of the Spooners 50 cups. Well done. Keep them coming. I'm sure they're going to start ramping up again soon for some people. Right, and before we move on to Dan, there is just one little special mention I want to whack up, and that's for Tosh downstairs, because he's had an
Yes.
absolute monster in January. 46?
£46, new PB.
Go on, you tell where it's from and that.
So it's from Ashbury Fisheries. It's on Top Lake, a lake that used to be called Cleveley Top Lake. Me and Tom fished it, blimey, 10 years ago?
Yeah,
11 years
probably.
ago. Dovey actually caught that at £35. And Tosh got himself out in the winter. It wasn't particularly nice conditions at the weekend, but I've set a little challenge up for the sales department where I always set myself a target of a carp every year.
Every month of the year.
One a year is all
Yeah,
right.
you're doing really well in that. as
Come
well.
on.
You
Well
really
done,
are.
Neil.
Let me rephrase. I
Yeah.
try to catch a carp every month of the year, picking the right venues at the right time, and I've put that out to the wholesale team. There's a prize at the end for everyone that, for who everyone votes to be the most consistent, catching some of the nicer ones. I think it's fair to say Tosh has won January.
Yeah,
There's
I'd
been a
say.
few people going for different species.
Spencer caught a perch though, £1
Spencer
perch.
caught a £1 perch, so he's on the board on the same day.
Who's your, outside of yourself? Who's your money on to?
Well, I'm not. I'm in the I'm in the challenge, but I'm
Yeah.
not in the prize side of it.
Okay.
Bailey's always there or thereabouts, whether it's a big pike in the
He
in
does
the
some
winter.
time as well, doesn't he? Old
Well,
Bailey?
he's down to one night a week now.
Is he?
Family man,
Okay.
but he does catch them.
Yeah, he does.
I'll bet you Aris wins it.
Do you reckon?
Harris
bet you.
might do. He's just got
He
the
only,
carp
he only
bug
needs
back.
to go carp fishing a couple of times a year, and he catches a big one. Then
Yeah,
he'll catch
true.
he'll catch a £5 perch.
Will it maintain though?
I don't
or
know.
Will he just fizzle out?
Not if it because I've said it's what you're targeting. So he spends a lot more time predator fishing. He's going to get the carp sticks out as well. But when he's fishing for what he wants to fish for, he's doing as much as a lot of people. So
This is how flaky he is, though. He said to me, "I'm getting back into it big time." He said, "I need a small barrow. I'm going to send you a list." He sent me the list thing, and he put at the bottom of the email, "If you can't sweat by the end of the week, the chances are I probably won't go." So it's like,
Whatever.
Yeah, ever. So if he doesn't get his barrow, then that's it. He's out.
that's probably to put pressure on you because he knows you're a bit flaky.
Maybe.
Sort of stuff.
Maybe.
He's a salesman, mate. He knows what he's doing. But anyway, back
Well
to
done,
Tosh.
Tosh. What a
Good old
guy.
Tosh.
Yeah.
If it was £50, I'd have given him a mug, but we won't go
Well, yeah,
against that.
no, exactly.
But yeah. But
I
anyway,
just want to get something in quickly that's hurt me yesterday.
Your weight.
My weight.
Yeah.
You know, Spoon has started to do running.
yeah.
So he's obviously.
Out of order.
So he walks
Excluding
into
me.
the office yesterday, and I said to him, "Fucking hell, mate, you lost some weight. Like you look good." I was like, "Cheers." Walked off, and he went, "I wonder how much I do weigh." So he's walked off to the dispatch area where we've got scales where we put the boxes to send them out. In fact, we don't even use that one anymore. Do
No,
we?
we don't know.
Spoon's got on it 77 kilos. That's
Yeah.
lost a lot of weight. I'm normally about 74. So I thought, I reckon after Christmas I'm 75, 76, but I'm still going to be lighter than him. 78.9 kilos.
Oh, he's been on
You
the
get
red
on and
wine.
he said one at a time,
He
please.
went, get off!
Just started screaming, ah!
78.9 kilos. Like,
Is that an all-time high?
Do I look fat?
A bit.
No, but you look like you've started to wear bigger clothing. Is that to cover it up? Is that an XL? That's
No, this is a medium.
Oh, is it? That's a large. Oh, it is a
Yes,
medium.
medium.
No, you don't look. No, you don't.
Does he?
How has that happened? I got back last night and told Luke,
Red
just
wine,
laughed in my
cheese.
face.
I'd imagine some
Yeah,
it is.
chocolate.
Yeah, it's
a
good
lot of
living.
chocolate.
You'll
Quite
have-
a few desserts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll have gout
Sitting
next.
there watching the telly, popping chocolates one after the
Yeah.
other.
You've got to remember, you've got your new kitchen, your new pinny, like
Yeah,
you're cooking loads.
You've shown us
you know
your
what I mean?
penny. Lot of lovely food. Lot of red meat.
Lot of red meat, but that's not going to put on weight, is it?
No, but the
what I'm
bottles of
saying
red
is
wine
I
that
don't,
go
I don't
with it
feel.
do.
I'm definitely not my lowest weight, but I don't feel fat. That's nearly. Oh, we looked on the BMI on the scale, didn't I? I was nearly morbidly obese.
The thing is, though, everything you're doing has to be tempered with some sort of exercise, doesn't it? And in the right time of year, spring, summer, late summer, you're playing golf, you're doing active stuff. You don't do anything in the
I've
off
been playing
season, do you?
paddle. I've been playing paddle
Oh,
the last
yeah,
couple
you
of
Well,
weeks.
you've been twice, haven't you?
Yeah.
Isn't that for old people?
Paddle. Oh,
No.
mate, that is
No?
a good
No.
game.
Is it?
Yeah.
He makes me laugh.
We-
I go,
we're
you
gonna
getting
try-
right into it? He goes, no, I've just played a couple of times. And he come into John, he went, oh, you got a rating? I went, what does that mean? It's like a special little code.
They do it.
Straight into it.
Well, because it shows how good you are.
Yeah.
I think it's on. I don't know what the app's called, but you basically go on it and then you put all your scores in. I think.
Like
and
your
it rates
handicap
you.
at golf.
Never
Yeah.
been competitive though, Tom, has he?
No, never.
I'm actually less competitive now as I get older. But
Coming in 3 weeks' time, 42 kilos. So I told you I could get it off. Be holding him up
problem.
in the chair. Do you know what I will just say, Spoons? The running. Bloody hats off. He has done very, very well.
oh yeah,
Obviously, I think-
Running after the show at Den Bosch,
Yeah.
doing the whole day and then doing how far?
Just a little 24k.
24 kilometres.
yeah, and my
After a day at a show on your feet all day, that's like
I-
Herculean, that is.
Yeah.
It's got to the point where I've not missed a single training run, and I don't want to. So I'm really working to. I've got my plan this week. I ran last night 10k. I'm going to do me intervals tonight. I've got a relaxing run on Thursday, and then I'm away.
What's a relaxing run?
6K at a reduced pace,
Right, okay.
like a recovery run. But then I've got to go. I'm away at the weekend with Connor and the family because it's his 18th coming up. So we're going to London. We'll get home Sunday at about midday, and I've got to run 26K once I'm back off of that.
26K is mad.
Yeah, my longest one yet. As a sort of progressing up in distance now.
He's got a slight advantage though. He's having like FaceTimes with Mo Farah.
I did have a FaceTime. That was the most surreal thing. So Clarkey, Reedy's mate, he's an unreal runner, and he does an app with Mo Farah.
What's it called?
You Run.
You Run, right.
You Run?
You Run, yeah.
Yeah. And I texted him about a certain bit in my training plan that I'd never done before, but it was too late to ask him before the run, so I went out and did what I thought was best and sent him a message saying, am I doing this right? Half an hour later, get a FaceTime. I thought, that's weird for Clarkey. Normally, he just gives me a voice note. So I've just answered it, and I've looked, and I'm like, well, that ain't Clark, that's Mo Farah. Just having a little chat with him. He said,
So
mate, you're doing really well in your running. Spoke about the charity I'm doing it for.
Yeah.
It was so surreal.
That's
Sorted
nice.
him a count out, have you?
Yeah, he's getting all the kit now. He's
Yeah, I bet he has a 50 before you.
just, it's like having Damo in the room, isn't it?
They did it as like a little marketing video. They FaceTimed like a load of their members at random, I think, which I thought was a really cool thing to do. Like everyone's
mega.
expecting it just being their coach to sort of say how you're getting on. It's
Imagine
like,
as
all
a
right.
runner getting
Yeah.
him, you know?
It was a joke.
Yeah.
It was surreal.
Mental.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really cool.
Brilliant.
So good.
Look
Yeah,
forward to that.
very good. Thank
Right,
you.
let's move on to the power in the room. Dan,
Gaffer.
thanks for joining us.
You're very
Nice
welcome.
to have you
Very
in, Dan.
nice to have
It is
you
nice
here.
to have
Nice
you
to
in.
get one in early.
Nice to be asked every now and again.
Well, that's what we said. It's nice to get you in early. It means we can get you in again now later on in the year at some point when you're not too busy. So that's good. Now, we've got something really cool to talk about a bit later. But before that, I know you've got a couple of films coming out soon that you wanted to maybe touch on and show a few of the fish from. And that was a session at a lake called Gaulois, which is...
Etang de Gaulois in the Morvan region of
Okay.
France.
Beautiful lake.
Yeah, about 2 hours directly south of Gigantica, but it's all tiny little roads on the
Nice.
way down there. So it's only about 100 miles south, but it takes 2 hours.
And it's somewhere you've fished before? You all fished there before?
Yeah, we
did a-
fished it together. We
Yeah.
did. It was
did a
Spooner's vlog, wasn't it?
The best kept secret in France, I think we called it.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
Yeah, really cool
Yeah.
lake.
80-acre star-shaped lake, deepest bits, 10 foot, no
Right.
weed,
100 metres is your limit, if I remember rightly.
100 metres. Yeah.
Yeah,
100
throwing, sticking. Well, we didn't
throwing
even fish
stick
that
and
far,
boilies,
did we?
yeah.
I do remember
Yeah.
this. Has this got like some nice buildings on the lake and stuff? It looks
Yeah,
really
yeah.
pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, the couple that own it, Lulu and Christoph, they're just the loveliest couple, and they've renovated this. I think it was a fish farm, I would guess, back in the day, and they've renovated the farmhouse, which is literally where you eat dinner. You've got water underneath you.
Yeah.
You know, it's just amazing, and they've done such a great job of renovating it. So.
Is that booked up
Yeah.
all the time then, is it now?
Well, you book swims on there, so I don't think, certainly in the winter time, because I wanted it to be a winter boilie masterclass. That was because a lot of people fish in Europe with boilies all through the year because of the bream, and I just wanted there's one, look.
Here we go.
I just wanted to sort of show how I did that and dealt with the soft bottom as well, because it's so shallow you just can't stop the lead plugging in, and it was how are you going to get round that, and because we'd done well before, so I just went armed with it, and I had 2 years where I couldn't go. I was ill once, and then something else happened, and we had to let Lulu and Christoph down, and I felt really rubbish for doing it, and they didn't really, they thought I was just messing them about, you know. So yeah, all the planets lined up, and
They're immaculate, aren't they?
it's a mental place, mate. It is mental. There's water flowing in. You can see the hills in the background. There's water flowing directly out of those hills, so no chance of pollution or anything else, into the lake and then back out, and it turns into a stream the other side. So the water's changing all the time. How can you have a lake that's 3 to 10 foot deep without a strand of weed in it at any point ever in the year?
So this is
like
this is
dream
just a
time,
booking
innit?
place, is it? You can book this
Yeah,
up.
you book it up
Yeah.
through Carp Specialist in
Okay.
Holland, but they all speak English, so you can just go on the Carp Specialist website and book it up. Obviously, the peak periods, you're not going to get on, but it fishes so well at that time of the year, and the fish are all massive.
What do they go to in there now, Dan? Because I think when we were there,
I don't actually know.
it was an £80
There's
in
just
there, I'm
loads
sure.
of big uns.
Yeah.
That's all,
£80 in
Yeah,
there.
I'm sure
Wasn't like
there
the
was,
average
so.
over £40, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I basically went to shoot a masterclass.
Look at that.
And yeah, went to shoot a masterclass, and I took a week to shoot a masterclass. I got it done in 3 days.
Jesus.
So then we were like, and did a mini masterclass for the spinner rig masterclass that's going to come out, I think, later in the year. That's got 5 different people doing their own section. So I did the winter boilie and the spinner rig with 4 days to go. And I'm like, right, let's do a thinking tackle then.
Yeah. That doesn't happen very often, does it?
Talk about, good value for money.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
I pulled it back from some of the trips you two have done over the last couple of years, haven't I?
Right, let's move on.
97 staff at Shantico for about a month.
Yeah, that return on investment wasn't great there, but we had a good time, didn't we?
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have you got it-
Jollification.
Yeah, you got it booked up again, Dan?
You know you.
Yeah, I know you
have. You're coming with me.
Oh, what? What's this, a social trip? Or?
But no, this is the Christmas special film this year that we're going to put a load of stuff out live on social. And we're going to Christmas it up to the max.
Normally
and
not a
obviously,
bit of me, that Christmas.
but
I
we're
hate
going
it.
to do some cool things because the Moor Van region. I've been reading some books on the SAS recently, and they operated in the Moor.
mate.
Yeah, that's £60 of that.
That is a cool
When are we going
car.
Christmas, is it?
I didn't get that invite.
I
did you?
didn't,
It's
but
weird that I checked my mailbox at home. 'cause
It's us two,
Yeah.
plus Chris Pashmans representing Germany and Pierre Mayer representing France. But we're gonna reenact the old game of football they played on Christmas Day. When the World War One they got out of the trenches and played football.
Great.
And all shook hands and everything for the day, and then
Are we having
started killing each
Christmas
other.
dinner?
We're having Christmas dinner, all fully done. Gary Newman's on the Christmas dinner, but we're going to go like the war memorials in the Moor Van. I'm watching Band of Brothers at the moment.
right.
Yeah, have you watched that?
No, I haven't, no.
It's mega. It's got Jerry in it, isn't it? From
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
From
yes, it has.
Carpentino.
Yes.
Is it?
I've seen Jerry in it. Going, that's my mate.
Yeah.
But I'm watching that at the moment, and I know it's Americans and that, but the sacrifice all these people made so that we can do this rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That always really gets me. So we'll go to one of the war memorials and we'll lay a wreath down and all that sort
Yeah.
of thing as part of the show as well. So it won't just be us fishing, and it's a bit later than that one. That that was one of them sessions where just the planets line up.
Yeah.
Like latter part of the week, it's 17, 18 degrees the first week of November. I'm in a t-shirt,
Yeah.
and I took whatever it was, 70, 80 key bait with me and nearly used it all.
Yeah.
I worked out it was 15,000 strokes of the throwing stick.
Jesus.
Over
I
the
was going
course
to say
of the
something
week.
else then.
Yeah.
I was going to say something else then.
That's just
What
when it's
bait,
quiet.
what bait
Yeah.
did you take?
20 mil cell.
20 mil cell
Yeah,
classic.
Classic.
frozen
Yeah.
20 mil cell.
Nice.
Yeah. I reckon I'll put on. You're talking about putting. I reckon I'll put on 2 or 3 kilos of muscle that week, just picking fish up.
Just
and
in your
throwing
right arm, I thought you was going to say. Come back.
No, it's both arms, son. It was both arms.
arms,
Yeah, we won't no time for that.
No.
We're not just playing fish.
No,
the
I
whole
didn't
time.
mean that. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah,
great.
so I think the masterclass is going to come out early for all the people that are going to France, not on just places like that, but everywhere if you're boilie fishing. Because when you bait up matters, and how much you put in matters, and do you recast because you haven't had one, or do you not, and what rig suits that bottom, and all that sort of thing. All them things are applicable to everybody fishing in Europe, and in the UK if you're boilie fishing, So that's coming out then, and then the thinking tackle. I give myself a very big target for the thinking tackle, and you'll have to watch it to see if it comes off or not. But the thinking tackle will come out around the same time as we shot it, so around October time later in the year, so that you're not seeing 2 films real close together on the same lake, but that was mental.
It's mad having fish that big in that depth of water, isn't it?
Yeah, 10 foot's. I thought it was about 5 foot because of the
Right.
drop. It's the lead's down instantly.
Yeah.
But I've actually plumbed it properly, and it's 10 foot.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
You
I
know?
misunderstood. I thought you were saying it's like 4 or 5 foot deep.
No, I thought it's 3 to 10 foot. So you've got corners that are really shallow, and then
ya.
it deepens off to the middle. But the middle hadn't been doing bites. When I got there's Dutchies everywhere because it's a Dutch booking agent. They're like, "Oh, Danny, the lake has changed. I've only had 2 fish in the last 2 weeks, and all this."
Yeah.
Why you for the joke to come out?
Yeah.
What?
He said, "Where's he from?
China. That's a sore subject for me at the moment. I don't really want to talk about that.
hair.
But yeah, it was exactly the same as it was when we fished it, but better.
Yeah.
I think I had altogether. I think I had 38 for the week, and the average was £45.
That is
Wow.
insane.
What a stock of fish that's got
Can
in
you do
there.
that anywhere else?
What about an angler?
Yeah, what
about that?
What an angler.
What's
I'll give
an
you that.
I've gone
angler?
straight to the. Oh, it's the
bet that-
venue's fault, is it?
I bet that was a cameraman's dream that week. I bet he absolutely loved that session.
That,
And it's going
did.
well like that. I know
They
it's
did. It
tiring,
was-
but
yeah.
when
but
it's happening like
also,
that.
when I drove down there, I just went because we didn't know what it was going to be like, and we'd heard it had been tough, like from the booking agent and that. And I was like, look, if we just have a good time with the crew, because normally I put loads of pressure on myself. I'm like, if we don't get a film, we don't get a film, you know. And I just drive it down for all the leaves are all turning yellow, and it was just beautiful. And we just had a laugh with the boys from the word go. Scotty McCulloch, basically, the handbrake on his van.
Oh yeah.
Broke,
that.
and the
Yes.
van ended up in the lake.
Oh my God,
Within
that's
an
so
hour
funny,
of
that,
us
yeah.
getting there, like literally, where they've been like loading up the boats because we're fishing on a little point you can't drive to.
Yeah.
The van has literally rolled back through that area, and if they'd still been standing there, it would have run them over. And half the van was in the lake, and the other half was out, and they had to go and get a tractor and pull it out.
Was the van all right? We never heard anything
Yeah,
after.
the van was fine. All the water just ran back out the exhaust because the engine hadn't gone under, and I guess the water had just gone up the exhaust. It all just ran back out again. And I rang him and went, "Don't start it." He went, "It's running now." I'm like, "Oh, mate."
So lucky.
You know, and he got away with it, drove
Yeah.
it home, no problem. You
Good
know.
old Scotty.
Madness.
Good old Scotty.
What's she laughing at? Your van then?
What?
That's just made me think of your van.
What
So was
happened
the
to my
van all
van?
right?
Oh no.
So was your van all right when he put AdBlue in his...
AdBlue
Yeah.
yeah.
That wasn't all right, was it?
That is not all right.
No, you can't do that.
cannot do that.
That doesn't
and
work.
if you start it, I only got like about 0.1 of a mile down the road. It's like and just
He
stopped.
rung me
Yeah.
to see if I could. He goes, "Do you want to laugh at me and help me out?" I'm like, "Yeah, definitely."
Yeah.
He said, "Well, I've just put AdBlue in my diesel tank and driven it." So I'm laughing. They went, "Hang on, how can I help? I'm not a mechanic.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
sold cars." I didn't.
Yeah. Didn't you used to do this? No, I sold them.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
No,
No.
don't do that. Yeah, okay. Well, that sounds mega, Dan. It's obviously going to be a really
Yeah,
good
I'm
film.
looking forward to
And
watching
and
that.
that's
Great,
good. You
yeah.
say it's going to come out sort of springtime, geeing people up for France, is it?
I think the first one's May,
Yeah.
the masterclass, and the other one will be October. But them trips, they don't happen. They happen once every few years for any of us, don't they?
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know. So yeah, that was to be read.
It would never.
One-
for me.
I was going to say
Once a month.
Once a month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a few of them. All right, well, that's cool. All right, and the next one is was this a thinking tackle, the Stanton one?
No, so Stanton was basically it's a story about my quest to catch one carp, which is I'm not known for that, am I?
No.
You know, I like a bite, just like spoons.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one particular fish, the half linnet embryo Stanton, got under my skin, and it's me doing a bit of a Terry Hearn-esque reflection
Nice.
on a campaign that lasted like 4 or 5 years.
So a totally
on and
different
off.
film.
You put
It's
a
totally different.
knitted
film.
jumper on and sat next to the fire and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I set lights to the blokes bivvy next door to me, and we sat next to that.
But look, Bargie's on the old camp. Why is he chewing them tiger nuts up? He's never done that before.
They're banned on it.
What is going on?
Yeah, so that's. I think we've got a couple of fish from
Yeah.
the.
Tell us a bit about that lake, Dan. The size and stock and stuff.
I love the lake. It's so precise. It's spot fishing.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
what's that? It's
Hurricane.
It's the old
Yeah, food trucks
925 president just coming
yeah.
across the road.
Apologies if you've heard that.
Yeah, I think it's 11 acres, something like that, maybe 13 acres. Old lake. Used to be owned by the Vauxhall Club, and we bought it off them best part of 10 years ago now, but all really established swims. All we've done is improve the swims. We haven't changed them or anything, so they've got old logs in them and everything, and but it's really spotty, the lake. So you've got, it's just a classic carp lake. You've got weedy areas, Canadian, then you've got silkweed, then you've got gravelly areas, and then you've got sandy bits off the edge of them. There's clay spots. You can fish under the trees, you can fish in the edge, you can fish out of range. It's got everything, but being precise and knowing the spots for me is one of the main keys to being successful on there. And I've still got it on my phone, and you know,
Send us the
who
details.
knows? I might fish it. Are you on the list for that?
I'm on the list for
Cables.
Cables, yeah.
Yeah, Cable's got more big uns in it.
Yeah,
now. That's gone ridiculous.
That
That
stock
lake.
has gone a bit insane. I don't know what that's going to be like in 5 years when
I know.
when I get on. I think it's going to be pretty insane.
They're only getting bigger, some.
Yeah, it's
and
already crazy.
I've really liked that lake as well because we've been there a couple of times for the Swanston Angler Socials, haven't we?
Yeah.
And that's a similar sort of vibe. It's like very spotty. It's got
Yes.
lots of weed,
Yes.
little bits of light gravel and that. I just quite like the way. In fact, I really like the lake when
Are you
I
on,
fished it.
are you on the list for both of them, fills and cables, or just fills?
Just feels.
Yeah.
Just Phil's.
Yeah, it's Phil's.
No, feels.
No, it's Phil's you're on.
Phil's is
It's
the bigger
Phil's,
one.
Yeah,
it's
it's
the bigger
Phil's.
Feels
lake.
is the bigger one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you paid your 40 quid?
No, did I need to?
Yeah. To be on the list, you
Nobody's
do.
asked me to.
No.
Maybe you're not on the list then.
I knew that, and he went in to do it. He went in
Do you have to?
He went in to do it, and I went, "Oh, you all done?" He went, "Yeah." And when he got down into the corner, I went in there, and went, "There's me 40 quid." Right?
Dovey said he's
yeah.
not paying.
All jokes
Yeah.
aside, do I need to do that?
Yeah, to be on the
Oh,
list,
right.
you do, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Embryo
Fucking
has got
hell.
some
Get
sneaky
blackballed again.
lakes with some biggies
Well, it's real.
in it.
It's really come of age now, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
but
know?
I feel like you only got to go next door and chat to Rob and that, and you could you end up in an absolute minefield of where to put your name down and what to join, because not everyone, but there's so many lakes now with incredible stocks that are coming through and getting massive, and you don't get talked about because there's always the flavoured ones that gets chatted about the most, isn't there? And the rest of them just sit there under the radar.
How's Baston
Yeah.
doing now? Is that still
Amazing.
Got, yeah.
Yeah.
Has-
So I
have
didn't
more
really join
come
last
through,
year
or-
because of going on the river, but
Right.
just incredible, yeah.
You fished the river, have you?
Yeah. Oh, Dan, I can get you right up to speed. I didn't realise we were doing
It's
this.
just somebody
we
bumped
could-
into me in Tesco's and told me.
We can go
Yeah, they don't even go fishing.
They made that such a thing on it. Yeah. That's great. So that's obviously, we won't give too much away about that, but
Yeah.
have we got a few fish from
Yeah,
that?
it's,
we have.
It's,
I think
it's,
give
a,
it-
it's
give
a
it
wicked
away.
story. It's
Yeah.
nice
I think
to.
people will still watch it.
It's
Yeah.
nice to.
So Dan, if you said that you normally fish for bites like Spooner does, but actually this one you're targeting a carp.
Yes.
At the end of your stay on there, would you say, looking back, it was more enjoyable to target a carp, or is it more enjoyable to go fishing for bites? Like, was your sense of accomplishment larger at the end of that?
Well, it
Because-
only turned into that fish towards the end.
right.
So at the beginning, I was just fishing for bites.
Yeah.
And I say, I wasn't doing the normal big fish angler thing where they know all the movements of their fish and they're up the trees all the time. I was still fishing my sort of style, but I was just crunching them out, trying to get to that one.
Yeah.
You know?
But when you did catch it, was that because you had thought about it a lot? Was it more of a buzz than just going somewhere and getting loads of bites?
Who says I caught it?
Watch the
true.
video to find
I think
out.
you did, didn't you?
Might not.
Look at that.
That's
Wow.
where it is.
Right, that's the one that everybody wants to catch on there, and I've been lucky enough to catch it twice now. That's lumpy.
How big's that one?
41.
That's unreal. Yeah.
That's an
That is a
incredible
joke,
carp.
mate. It's
Yeah.
a joke of
That's
a fish.
the king
that.
anywhere, isn't it? What a carp
Yeah,
that is.
a joke of a fish.
How old's that, Dan?
Don't
You
know,
know?
mate. Don't
No.
know.
It's a seafloor.
Don't really know the history of
Yeah.
them before they went in there. These are all ones that are in there anyway.
Yeah.
You know, we've stocked it, but stockies haven't done amazing, the ones that we put in there, but I don't think we've put the cream of the crop stockies. We have now. We've got some amazing stockies, and it will change the lake again. But it's just a moody lake.
Yeah.
It's a really, really moody lake. Oh, like these most of it's been in the winter. In fact, pretty much all of it's been in
What
the
time of
winter.
year is that? Capture
And,
there.
that's the latest I fished it. That's end of March, beginning of April.
Right.
Lovely
Yeah.
time of year.
The weather there, you see in the shot,
yeah.
even that photo, the weather looks
Mate,
great, doesn't it?
April's the best month of the year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Only.
end of April, beginning of
Beginning
May.
of May,
innit?
yeah.
When all the leaves are coming out on
Yeah.
the trees and they're all bright green as
Yeah.
as it can
Like them reed
get.
stems coming up, look, they're just
Yeah.
fluorescent.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Do you think stockies have got better than over the last 10 years? Because like years ago, like if somewhere had been stocked with like a load of the original Simos, they weren't that sought after, but now they're amazing fish, aren't they? So you would say
Yeah.
like, the future's really bright for fishing in the next 10 years.
Yeah, well,
because the stocking's got better.
Yes, but you just get different. You just get different batches of fish, and some have got loads of growers in, and it's the parentage, you know. And some people, you know, each fish farmer obviously decides what he's going to have as his parents and what he wants to produce, and some of those are growers. Some of them are showers. You know,
We're neither in here.
you know, so
What a carp that is.
if you get something that's got that is pretty skinny and has got loads of scales on it, it ain't going to get big
No.
because it's got to grow the scales as much as it has the rest of its tissue, and it's the wrong shape.
But these ones are nice shaped.
But this
and
is just the right shape, isn't it? Look at that, man.
That's unreal. In fact, I'm back in a minute. I was going to see Rob.
Get your 40 quid.
Yeah, get your 40 quid out.
That is
We've
incredible.
got a smaller one as well, I think. One of the smaller scaly ones.
We'll get it up.
It's like a browny, scaly one that I think I caught towards the end.
Just before he finds that, Dan, like Tom said about what the sense of achievement being.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Different
They're
again,
just
isn't
like-
it? What a
yeah,
carp, though.
I think that one's from Lower Berryfield. I think because it's got that
It looks like a
orangey
different
bit.
strain.
You know,
It looks like a different strain.
it is a
doesn't
completely different strain. This is a new one.
That first one wasn't a stocked fish. That's an original from
That's an original.
before.
Great
embryo's
head again,
time,
isn't
wasn't
it? Great
Yeah,
big
mega.
long snout. Mega
Mega.
carp that.
You know, but there's a proper A team in there as well. It's like it's almost back in the days to your toll pits and all them sort of.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that. It really is. Great bunch of members.
Yeah.
You know, just good atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the fishing I like. You know, and it's tough, man. As soon as you think you've worked it out, it just kicks you in the nuts again.
Well, how many are in there?
You know. 120, something like that. I think it was about 90 odd when I fished it. I think.
Right.
And when you say you were on it,
90 to
Dan,
100.
how into it was you? How many nights a week was you doing then when you were on that?
Doing 7.
It's just the 7 nights.
9.
No, it's 9.
Nine
Yeah.
nights a week.
Yeah.
Just
No,
constantly
I was
over there.
doing at the beginning, the first winter, I did 3 nights a week. I'll do it for short periods. So I'll do say November, December. I'll do 3 nights a week, and then I won't go in January because I've got Gigantica and all that, and then I might go back again February. But the sort of final straight, as it were, was January to April, and that was 3 days and 2 nights because it's not a night water.
Right.
So your bite's going to come in that. And what I found in the end was that you couldn't get bites from a particular swim for more than 1 day. So you could move into the swim, get a bite straight away, maybe get a couple that day. If you did it overnight in that swim and waited for the morning, they were somewhere else, and you had to move again. You know, so there's loads and loads and loads of that. So almost like you're moving out of a swim that looks like it's the one because you just know they ain't an animal.
Yeah.
That's
You
tough,
know?
isn't it?
Yeah.
That takes a
Yeah.
long time to learn that.
Do you-
It
Have
does,
you
yeah, it really does.
Have you had that in waters you've joined though, where that is often the case, where it's sort of a one fish a session type swim or whatever, and you'll get in there and you have one quick, and you know you could literally pack up and go home. You're probably not going to catch another one, but you don't. Do you stay and then nothing happens and you go home the next day at lunchtime?
don't know if I've
Like,
had
I've
that
had a
that
few
much.
lakes like that where you get a bite quick and it's done, and it's
But
probably a
low
similar
stock
case.
early in the year when the water's still cold. One fish spooks the rest of them away,
And they're gone.
and they ain't coming back there again. And,
No.
they might then sit up somewhere, not show. They're not happy, and you don't see them the next morning. You know, and then where'd you go?
Yeah. Where'd you go from there?
Where'd you go
Yeah.
then? You know, so
Have you got any
Yeah.
other fish like that you think you could end up getting into again for a particular carp over the next few years or not? Was that a bit of a one-off?
that was a bit of a one-off, really.
Yeah.
That one, yeah. I'm sure they will present themselves, you know, but I'm probably moving in the next year up to Cambridge, so I'm gonna have, you know, the Baston Lakes and all that I haven't hardly fished. Bear in mind the amount of effort I've put into them, I've barely been there. I'd like to
Have a
go there, and
Yeah.
you know, and again they're getting bigger. The common's 58 now. That might be £60 by the time
Have you
I
put your 40
go
quid
on
down?
I've actually put 12 million down for my ticket.
We'll probably
He's
Yeah.
got a pass.
Probably
Yeah.
let him have a ticket.
But let him have a ticket.
Yeah, let him have a ticket. Yeah. Winter ticket first.
Yeah.
See how he gets
Wait
on with
a
the
year and he
members.
can get on the next
Might be a
spring.
punisher. Great. Excellent. All right, well, let's
Yeah.
move on. Fantastic. Both of
Thank
those
you.
films are obviously going to be really good, especially the second one. That's going to be a different look altogether. I'm really
Yeah,
looking
we've got
forward to seeing that.
Right, we're using AI to recreate, or Tom Major is using AI to recreate the lake bed, because like I say, it's so important. Your drop is so important. So he's recreated the lake bed, and I've been out there and looked through the viewing bucket with a boat on like work parties, because I wouldn't even do that. Even though I could go out in the boat, I'm like, that's an unfair advantage, and I ain't really caught them. If I'm doing that and nobody else can, that's not
Doesn't sit
cricket.
right,
Like, it
no.
doesn't sit right. So, but then eventually, when we had a work party clearing the weed, I went out there, put a float out to where I thought they were, got the drop, went out and had a look, and it was completely different from what I thought it looked like. But we've made them look like what it really does
Oh,
look
that's
like.
cool.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to put CGI or something in the because it looks so real. It looks like it is the lake.
Amazing.
It's mental. The work he's done on it.
Yeah,
is
he's a
mental.
clever boy.
So them things are going to be really interesting because the fishing, some of the fishing's on little tiny sandy spots and some's over just a massive carpet of dead weed, and the presentation's completely different, the baiting's completely different, and all of that evolved over the time.
Well, what was the drop you were getting then, and what did you think it was, and then what was it?
It was a firm thud.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a rattle your teeth gravel, but it wasn't in weed. It was just a firm thud. It's hard to explain.
No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
It feels like a clay drop.
Yeah.
But it wasn't clay.
What
it
was
was
it?
actually sand.
Just compact sand.
Compact sand, yeah. And as the gravel spots sort of dissipated away, that you just had a ring of sand, around them. Some were just sandy spots and there weren't any gravel, but most of the time everybody was fishing on the gravel because it was easy to find, and it was just that little
Sand.
what felt like 2 foot, maybe 3 foot. We all think it's 6 inches that we've dropped on, but it ain't, is it? Say it's 3 foot, but it's still, you've got to be on that bit. And 100 yards in a crosswind with fluorocarbon on, it's hard to get onto them bits. So when you get that thing, you're like, oh mate, that's
a bite.
That's lovely.
And then why do you think you were getting the bites off of it? Is it because I've loved fishing on that sandy stuff. It's like it's firm drops, smooth to pull back on.
Yeah.
And do you think it's because it's hiding all of your tackle?
No, that was the thing I got completely wrong. I thought it was clay, so I was using all the dark stuff because you know what I'm like for camouflage.
Yeah.
Using the dark lead core, the weed green one, and a dark lead. And when I went and looked at it, it's like yellow sand. It couldn't have been worse. Obviously, I'm fishing fluorocarbon semi-slack, so the whole lot of it's sitting against the bottom. But
Straight through, or was you using a leader?
Bit of lead core, I think.
Did you say
a little
core?
bit of lead core.
Right,
Very
okay.
short section of lead core.
Yeah.
So when I was clear spot fishing. Yeah. But that was, I started using the 12 foot 4 pound Kaizens when they weren't even Kaizens, when we hadn't even decided on the name.
Yeah.
At the start, and I caught that fish at 41. That's the second time I've had it, but the first time I caught it was on them rods.
Right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
and it's like when I first started using the Smart Liquid, I tell the story about the Smart Liquid, and we've got shots of my tank and all that sort of thing where I tested the Smart Liquid and how that caught me that 41 pounder.
Nice.
The week before Christmas, the first time I caught it. So
Yeah.
you've got,
Really
it's
cool.
an hour and like, you'll see with one of the adverts, I get quite excited that I did it in one take. I did an hour and a half in one take, never stopped talking.
Really?
For an hour and a half, yeah.
That's
Just
brilliant.
did the whole story, the whole 4 years.
I'm not surprised. You're not surprised at that,
When
surely.
they're like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is a long take.
There's a few ums
It's
and
like,
ahs
well
in
done,
it.
Dan. Stop. That needed to be under 60 seconds. For a real.
Try it
For a
again.
real. Can we do that again? We could cut it into 2, but yeah. Great. Oh, I can't wait for that. When's that coming out?
Before the big one show.
Oh, okay. Not long then.
Not long.
Oh,
February sometime.
Excellent.
Cool.
Middle of Feb. Because
Really
again,
looking forward to
most of it was fished November, December, January, February, March. Most of the sessions were that.
Nice.
So I want it to come out at a time of year that people think, do you know what, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to put one spod, not a spawn, one spod of bait out, and I'm not going to put it on top of the hook bait. I'm going to put it just behind it and put it in a nice little line and just get them near the bottom, near my hook bait, and the hook bait's going to do the work. And that turned it on its head. That last spring, that turned it on its
I
head.
remember that.
Good
Nice.
idea.
Yeah, it's good.
Sounds good.
Who's
Yeah.
edited that?
Kai,
Kai.
he
Okay, nice.
fucking hates me.
Yeah, I bet he does. Yeah.
Honestly,
actually.
mate.
No,
we're on version 3 now,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no. I moved that back a little bit there. I did like that shot, but I don't like it anymore. Let's change it to that. And
Yeah.
we worked together on Monday.
Why is
at
that
my
in there,
place.
Kai? You asked me to put it in there.
Did I?
Did I?
That was
Well, get it
messed up.
out.
But because people who have fished the lake are going to watch it. If I say, I was looking for fish in Windy Corner, and he's shown a shot of me looking for fish in another swim, even though you can't see it's the other swim unless you've been there. Some people have been there, and then it takes away from the story.
I make
because
details
it's not,
everything, isn't it?
It's not the right shot.
Yeah.
So we've had to. He's put shots in because he doesn't really know the lake. He's only been there once. He's put shots in that marry up with the words and look nice. And I'm like, I'm sorry, mate. can't use that one.
Yeah.
You know, have we got another one? So he's now trawling back through everybody else's work.
Yeah.
He didn't shoot it, and he's looking for shots of a swim he's never been in.
No, Kai, that's B2. What have I told
For
you?
God's sake, Kai.
He's doing legendary work.
So he's,
Yes.
he's absolutely awesome. And sitting with him on Monday, we got another version done. It took us a whole day, but there's another like 50 changes to be done. So, you know, I'll be really happy with it when it comes out.
Oh, mate, it'll be great. If he's done it, it's going to be great. And if it's got your detail on it, it's going to be amazing. John's waving us up.
Dan, can you stop? I'm getting a lot of rust.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, he's getting excited about his film, John. Christ.
I'm
Come
sorry,
on.
executive producer. I'm getting
Surprised you could hear it.
excited.
Executive producer, you called him picture putter upper this morning.
That's what he is. Actually, he is in reality.
Yeah. Brilliant.
He's got his headphones not on his ears
Yeah.
DJ.
when he's supposed to be doing sound as
Perfect.
well.
Perfect. Right. Perfect. Yeah, carry on. Let's move on to the biggest topic of why we've got Dan on, which it's going to, I think a lot of people are going to love this. They're going to be surprised by it as well.
We were surprised.
We were surprised. In a world that's literally dominated by social media, and in particular platforms like Instagram, Dan, you've chosen to never be on there and have a profile and upload your pictures and get involved in any of that.
Yes.
First of all, why?
Why haven't
you? In all this time, you think it's...
At the start, it was Facebook and the negativity on Facebook, and I just didn't want people digging me out that I'd never met. And I used to take it very personally. I remember getting some advice from him back in the day, saying, Dan, like, these people, if you sat and had a drink with them in the pub, you wouldn't give them the time of day. So why do you care about what they think now? But I was more of a sensitive soul. I'm less so now, as I've got older. So that's why I didn't want to do it. And I'm so busy, you know, like you don't build Korda and Embryo and Gigantica and all that like part time, you know. So I just didn't have the time for it. But as time has moved on, you know, I've got Dean, my PA now, who's just like unbelievable. So he can help with with putting the posts on at the right time, you know. And we've worked out a system where I select the pictures or the video. I might edit, if it's video, I might edit it with Kai, you know, because there's very short form, very punchy videos, and it'll all be sent to Dean, and then Dean will put it up at the time, you know. And then if there's things that you know, we want an answer, you know, somebody's asked me a question, then Dean will ask me, and if I don't type it out myself, Dean will, you know, I'll dictate it to him, and then he can put it on. So there are people are getting my answer; they're not getting Dean's answer. That's another thing that I couldn't do. I don't want Dean answering for me or anybody else, you know. So if I don't answer, it's because I haven't got time. But if I do answer, it's me.
Yeah, that's good to know.
So I think it's a combination, and the biggest thing of all, and this has been the greatest pleasure for me, is I've taken thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures in fishing and in my personal life, travel around the world, that have never seen the light of day, you know. Tiger safari, you know, like amazing shots that we saw more tigers than the BBC did. We're just so lucky, and I've got all of that. I haven't even got them up indoors.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there on a hard drive, and it's...
I don't even know you'd done that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
That's
you know,
incredible.
and when I look through at the Tiger Safari, there's like 5 files of pictures, you know, Tiger Part 1, Part 2, you know, and there might be one that's just monkeys playing, but I've just got some wicked shots with that long Canon lens, that 100 to 400 lens. I just got some wicked shots back then.
So how do you plan to use the platform? Obviously, from what you're saying, you're going to use it for your life. Basically, you're going to put all sorts of different things. It's not going to be a carp fishing page.
So no, it's not just carp fishing. Obviously, there will be carp fishing on it, and there'll be a lot of shots that people would never seen before. You know, like that 41 pounder. The first time I caught it, there's been a couple of shots that have bled out where people have used it here. Once I basically went into a book in that I contributed to in Germany that was done with my mate Jens and Chris Pashmans and that to generate money for kids. So I thought I'll put something out, and because I was still fishing Stanton, I thought I'm not putting it out in the UK because I don't want anyone to know, you know. So because I put all my tactics and everything on there as well, but that's the only place it's ever been published in German. you know. So he's getting those ones out and the shots of the returner shots and all that sort of thing that nobody's ever seen. So there's that element from fishing. Loads of stuff I've taken of other people. So when we go on the Korda trip to Gigantica, I take hundreds of pictures, and none of them have ever seen the light of day, other than the fish pictures that they're putting on the website, you know. So so that's my lovely friend Andrew Gibbons, who is just the most gorgeous man. He does all of the fish husbandry at Gigantica. So I met him in my best mate Andy's tackle shop, and we've just become mates. And he's got koi up to 60 pounders. That's a 60 pounder from Gigantica. He's got koi that size in his back garden pond. Wow! Right. So he knows
his stuff.
He knows his
I
stuff.
like the fish there.
Yeah. He has had a 50 pounder, a silver 50 pound common out, like to check it and make. Well, you see them in the water, they're impressive. When you see them out and you see them on their side in a big bowl, like you know, it's mental. So sharing shots of the people that I fish with as well. Yeah. Because that's part of fishing, isn't it? It's like all them friendships and everything you've built up over all that time, and it's giving them people a little bit of airtime and a bit of credit. So it's not just going to be me, fish. Look, I've caught one. You know, it's not.
That's what he
does. It's going to be. That's what he does.
Shows off all the time.
He ain't got any mates, is he? That's why.
Not to give any credit.
But so it gives me an opportunity to share all of those pictures, and what it's already started to do is inspire me to take more pictures when I go, because I sort of stopped taking them. Yeah, I used to have the camera out on the bed all the time just in case, and I stopped doing it because I thought, what's the point? No one's ever going to see them. Yeah. You know,
that's a frog.
That is a frog. But I just like little shots like that. You know,
just like little frog.
Yeah, just like little frogs.
I've got 480 at home.
Little Kermit.
Yeah.
You know, but I see things like that when that was at one of the Embryo Syndicate Managers socials. Yeah. You know, just see things like that. I think it's a cool shot. Yeah. You know, and I just want to put them out there. Yeah. You know,
that's what it's so great for, isn't it? I don't know about to speak for everyone else, but that's what I love Instagram for the most. I think the fact that you can just click on there and go back through shots you've caught. Or someone would just say, "Have you ever fished here?" And you just think, "Oh, I have. I've had a couple from there." And you scan through it, and it reminds you again. You can have another little look. I love it for that, and I think it's another. Almost like another place to store your memories in case you ever lose them or something like that. It's another place they live, isn't it? That's a nice shot. Love
Proud of that one. That's the one Kevlar's. I'm getting a nod from Kevlar.
That is a Kev shot, that one, isn't it?
That's Kerala, southern India.
Oh, okay. Kev from say Southend.
Kev just said
that's Southend. A morning out with Kev.
It's fake.
I'm actually going to put in the description that the great Kev Wyatt would actually be happy with that one.
Nice, lovely.
That was literally from the balcony of my hotel room.
You're doing all right, aren't you?
Big old balcony, that, isn't it?
He's having a glass of wine with the king. And he went, what do you think of that?
I was getting sucked off at the time.
Not by the king.
Just want to point out.
Dan's having a good life. He wants to put it up. It's fair.
So just sharing all that stuff. It's like maybe people haven't thought of going to India. Go to it. That's the whole point of it. It's sharing your experiences and what you've learned and stuff, so that people think, I might have a go at that, or I might even try and take that shot somewhere else. Yeah. You know, whatever. So that I've got loads and loads and loads of those from all around the world.
And I bet 90% of people that know you that obviously follow you through Korda Official stuff would not have a clue that you're into photography. Probably wouldn't even have a clue, because they just think you've got a cameraman with you all the time, probably on your shoots and stuff. So you're not taking your own photos. So they would probably think you're not into it. So I think it's going to be great to see some of your other photos, definitely.
When's it starting, Dan?
Well, by the time this comes out, we're just waiting for one last bit. Look, getting what do they call it when you get your blue tick? Verified. What a palaver! Yeah. I mean, if I didn't have Johnny Boy there helping me, I wouldn't have done it. I really wouldn't have done it, because it'd just be too complicated. Ag. Yeah. I'm like, I can't be bothered with this. But John's been brilliant, and so now it's all verified. I've just got to do my profile picture. Yeah. And
Oh, that'll be how much.
Yeah.
Smile.
Just that quick. There you go. That's
We
that
could,
bit.
we could get you actually with that in the background. I think that'd probably be
for a
quite
little
good,
bit,
actually. Yeah, a little bit of marketing.
That is what it isn't going to be.
Yeah.
So all the videos that you see on Korda and that sort of stuff, that isn't going to get reposted on mine.
Yeah.
No, it's your
mine.
page.
Not to start
It's
with.
mine.
No, let's not.
Yeah, we won't.
Yeah, not at all, Sam.
Give
Yeah.
me- give me
No,
a few
there's going to be
months.
no can you just. Can you just. Oh, John, the can you
John's
just.
waving over
department.
there. We've got a great competition
If
running at
I've
the
got-
moment.
If I've got a film coming out that I'm proud of,
Yeah.
I'll do a little bit
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a selfie and say
That's-
I'm really proud of this one. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a couple of photos to back it up.
Yeah.
You know, and if I don't do that, I don't do it. I know Korda's going to do it more than enough, but it's having a nice mix of, you know, the fishing life, the travel, you know, the longevity and supplements and training and all that sort of things I've learned over the years. You know, I want to share all of that stuff as well.
Going to be a guru on there. Going to be
Could
a
have been an
guru.
influencer.
Well, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say a guru, but yeah, I just you know, because I've got the best scientists going, advising me on how to sustain a healthy life. Then if I can pass that on and help somebody else,
I better start reading it.
Yeah.
79 kilos.
And climbing.
Yeah.
Some people are beyond help.
You need to
Yeah.
get posting quick, Dan.
Yeah, you would. So, I mean, people are going to be able to find you easily, but what, are you going to be under your name, or have you got
Danny.Fairbrass.
Danny
Yeah.
Fairbrass? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it official or is it just Danny.Fairbrass?
Just
Danny.Fairbrass.
Cool,
okay.
nice and easy to find.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Has there been some fake ones over the years?
Loads.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
of course there is.
Loads.
That's why you got
Yeah.
to verify it. Innit?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And has any of them got any traction or anything?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave Gawthorne said to me, Dan, why don't you reply to my messages on Instagram? I said, it's not me, you dickhead. I said, look at the pictures. They're all from about 20 years ago.
But he's like, I didn't
And
think
he's
it was. I turned up 5 minutes early and you never showed up. Poor old Dave. Brilliant.
Good old G, man.
So there have been a few over the years.
Well, hopefully we can have you on later on in the year, Dan, and we can look back at everything that's been going on your social media.
Yeah,
Hope-
it'd probably be shut down.
Hopefully
3
it's
months
still
max.
running.
2 weeks.
Yeah. No, hopefully you'll get a load from it and
Yes.
obviously enjoy it, and we'll get to see loads of the photos that we haven't seen. Like Spooner touched on, he had no idea he'd been on that safari, neither did I. So things like
Yeah.
that are going to be great to see. Now, I know you did want to talk about the shows that are coming up and the ones you're going to be at in particular.
Yeah. Also, I've got a couple of pictures from Den Bosch. It's the first time I've done Den Bosch since he's been at Den Bosch.
Yeah, his first one.
Yeah, normally I fish Gigantica for a couple of weeks in January, but this January was absolutely rubbish. Yeah, that's the reason we go. It's cool, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
just so cool. You get the opportunity to make someone's day, whether they're 8 or 68.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's such a privilege. I really do. I always drive away from the shows. I don't know what you boys are like, but I always drive away from the shows just feeling warm and
Yeah,
fuzzy
100%.
inside that you've just made loads and loads of people's days, you know. And this guy, so this is Twan, right? So at Gaulois, his mate's also called Twan, so it's Twan and Twan, right?
Twan twins.
The Twan twins, yeah.
There's a W and
So-
Spooner versus ever I've seen one.
So they're fishing in the lodge swim, you know, like the Jeet,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
Matthew Bart
Yeah.
fished, yeah. And they've done 5 days for nothing, and obviously I'm battering it sort of across the way. from
Literally
them.
just
Yeah.
across the way.
Yeah, so I've gone round there. They gave me that they're both they work on internal investigations for the for passport control. So all those people that let you into the country,
Right.
they're internal investigations officers for that thing. You know,
Oh, right,
so they're
okay.
the police of that.
Handy
yeah?
people to know.
Yeah.
So I actually nearly I thought of them because I nearly didn't get let in to Holland because my passport was so full with stamps. The guy said I can't stamp it anywhere, and if I can't stamp it anywhere, I can't let you in. And I was like, mate, I'm doing a personal appearance at a show. He said,
Yeah.
well, I'm sorry, sir, but I'll have to ring my supervisor, and I've got let in. Yeah, but
Dan, it's Twan. Of course you can't ignore him.
well, I thought
Go
if-
through. He doesn't need a
It
passport.
was Eindhoven. If he was a skipper, I would have dropped their name. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because I've got their
Yeah.
phone number and
Yeah.
said, can you get one of them? They can vouch for
Could
me.
you try Twan? And if he doesn't answer, try Twan. Because he'll let me in definitely.
They're going to love this. So anyway, they gave me during the week. They gave me a Dutch army knife, like a Swiss army knife, but the Dutch version. Yeah, wicked little thing. I'll have it forever. I love them sort of things that you get something that you could never ever get anywhere else. You have to be, in the forces or what they're doing to get one. So 2 days before the end, I went round to see them again because they're fishing right next to where the showers are, and I took a load of bait with me. Right, gave them the bait, showed them the rig I was using, everything else. They caught nothing up to this point. In the last sort of 36 hours, they caught 7. Yeah, and one of them had a PB.
Brilliant.
I think Twan had the PB.
yeah. Outside chance. Have a wager on that.
But meeting lovely people like that when
Yeah.
you go fishing, and then they said, "Oh, we'll try and get to Den Bosch," and sure enough, they turned up at Den Bosch. But it hits home. They had all these shelf life boilies that are apparently the best ones in Holland and all that. And this is why a lot of those other Dutch guys, when we first got there, are saying it's so tough because the bait they're using isn't that good. And I'm sorry to the Dutch people that are listening, but the shelf lives generally in Holland are not great. Mm-hmm. We've seen loads of them, and even the ones from the better companies. We all know fresh boilies are better than shelf lives. They just are. They taste better, And that was just such proof that they were on a load of fish. They did 5 days with nothing, and all they changed was their bait. And then they caught 7 in the last 36 hours.
That's great.
So they were
Less than
made
that.
up, them two, absolutely. And that was as good as the films coming off. I thought about that as much as I did about, probably more, on driving home, that I'd made a difference to them blokes,
I think everyone's got stories like not even of like you said, that's the ultimate doing that. But I've got stories from when I was really young where just the guy next door's helped me out with something. And he said, try this, and he'd give you a little bit of bait when he's leaving or something, and you catch one. It's like amazing, isn't it, when someone helps you out like that.
I thought you were going to say you helped someone. I said, that's a lie.
It's like that. I was battering him until I'd done what you said. I haven't had a bite since. I go the opposite. Yeah, I'll stop him catching. I'm going to give him some advice. Right. Brilliant.
But we've got Brands Hatch coming up, haven't we? Which will be a few days after this comes out, I think. Mm-hmm. And it's just to say to people, like, don't be shy. Come up and say hello.
Yeah.
We're not going to bite, and it makes it for us as well. I think everybody feels the same about that.
100%.
Yeah, that's what
It
it's
absolutely
about.
makes it for us, So, I'm doing Brands Hatch, which unfortunately clashes with the Italian show, so I can't do the Italian show this year. And I'm also doing the big one at Farnborough. But I can't get to the Northern show. You're doing the Northern show,
I
aren't
don't
you,
know. I
think?
was meant to be doing Essex and the big one, but now I can't do the Saturday.
Essex is Brands Hatch now, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Yeah,
yeah.
I
So
don't
people aren't
think I can do
confused.
the Saturday on that, so I might try and do the other one, but I don't know what I've got on. But I will try and be as many as I can, like I've been for the last 20 years,
Yeah.
Like when you're saying about that, I would prefer it that people come and ask for some advice, because a lot of the time now with phones, it's turned into a queue for pictures, which is also fine. Like it's essentially
if that's
what we're
what
there
people-
for.
yeah.
But when you come up to us, ask us something that might help you catch some fish this year, because that's what actually makes me feel good about when I leave the shows, is that I feel like I've given some information that's going to change someone's year. It's obviously nice to be able to give the opportunity to have a photo or whatever, but it's better to have some good information. So ask some questions.
So I think they've watched all the stuff that we've done. That's why they want to come and have the photo. So they've got all of that information, and if they dearly wanted to know more, they would ask more. Like at Den Bosch, you got a lot more questions, didn't you?
Yeah, a lot
and
more.
a lot less pictures.
Yeah.
Because your profile isn't as high.
That's right.
Over there as it is here.
Exactly.
And it is nice to answer questions, but I didn't get asked a single fishing question.
Did you not?
At Den Bosch? No.
No.
It's because they want the picture more than anything, which
Yeah.
is fine. Like I said, it's fine, but
Yeah, whatever. It's whatever people
I think
want.
it comes
but-
with the territory now, doesn't it? If you're that well known, that's the bit that people want. But yeah, I'd love to give more fish catching information. I mean, I used to be there with my wares with all the rigs out in front of me and talking to people about different things. That just doesn't happen anymore.
No, and I think we can take it for granted here, because you can just walk next door and ask somebody that sort of advice, can't you? And when you, I think as well, a lot of it is people don't have the, like you said, they don't have the confidence to actually ask the question in the first place. It's not seen to be the done thing, is it?
Yeah.
Asking someone in front of 5 other people.
Other than a Northern show,
How can I catch
where they're
a
on you
fish?
like a rash.
They'll ask it.
They'll ask it. Oh
They've got
yeah.
the confidence.
Oh yeah.
Tighten this up for us.
Yeah.
No, I think it's like you said, have the confidence, because it's not if you don't know, you don't know, do you?
No.
You're not expected to know. So if you don't know, ask the questions.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, we'll look forward to seeing everyone at the shows. We'll wrap it up there. We'll look forward to having you on later in the year, Dan. Don't forget to follow Dan on his social media.
Oh.
Let's get him up to 1 million followers. Then I can go out with him and do Carp Porter videos every week. No, don't forget to like and subscribe so you know when the next one's live, and we'll see you on the next one.